Welcome back to the channel, guys. So, a lot of you ask me what it's like playing tennis in France, playing maybe tennis tournaments, or just going to France for training, or maybe sending your kids to France for training, if they want to get better, maybe go to a university, or really just about playing tennis in France in general. So I wanted to make this video to kind of tell you why you should even consider going to France to play tennis. And in the second part, I will explain to you how. So I'll just show you on the computer in the second part. So why should you go to France to play tennis tournaments? Well, first of all, tennis is pretty big because it's the second most popular sport in France, and we just have an abundance of tournaments. Actually, I looked it up the other day, and it's over 18,000 tournaments in France all year long for both adults and juniors. And so, wherever you go in France, big city, small town, villages, there's gonna be a tennis club, at least one, if not more, and they're gonna host the tournaments. Maybe in the summer, maybe in the winter, maybe both. So wherever you go, there will be a place for you to play. The first advantage of playing tournaments in France is that tournaments are very cheap. Okay, it's usually about 20 euros for adults. 20 euros is about 24 US dollars, give or take, right now. And for juniors, it's about 15 euros, so maybe 18 to 19 US dollars. If you compare that to, let's say, your USTA tournaments, they can range anywhere between 50 bucks to maybe 100 bucks, maybe a little bit more. Now, the second thing is the amount of matches that you're gonna play in one tournament. I don't have the time to explain in this video exactly how the French rating system works because that's pretty complicated. But I'm just gonna give you an example, okay? Tournaments last usually for about 2 weeks. Okay. The lower ranked players usually starts towards the beginning of the tournament, and then the higher ranked players starts towards the end. And so your first round, you're gonna play against an opponent that has a little bit of a lower rating than you. If you win that one, the next match you're gonna play against an opponent with a slightly higher rating than you. So if I take, let's say, the example of a UTR rating, let's say you're a 5 UTR. First round, you may be playing somebody who's like a 4 or a 4.5. If you win this match, your next round, which is going to be very likely the day after, you're going to play somebody maybe of a 5.5 UTR. And if you win this one, you're going to play a 6 UTR. And if you win that one, a 6.5. So on and so forth until you lose or until you win the actual tournaments. So in one tournament, you could be playing a lot of matches, if you happen to perform very well, not just 2 or 3 matches. So that's pretty nice, and you're going to be able to play against opponents that are better and better. And with the amount of matches that you could win in the tournaments, I think it's very worth it because it's only 20 euros for adults. So that's one thing. Another thing is clay courts are very common in France, and so you will easily find clay courts and hard courts everywhere. And so if you want to play ever on clay and play some tournaments on it, it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be more expensive. It's just going to be more fun. Let's say you go to a big city, like Paris. Paris just has many clubs everywhere. And so the good thing with that is that if you wanted to play multiple tournaments and you don't have really much transportation, then it's very possible because there's going to be clubs just about. Okay, I'm from Bordeaux, and I know in Bordeaux, within maybe a 20 minutes drive radius, there's going to be probably at least 10 to 20 tournaments, let's say in the month of July. So within a short drive, there's plenty of tournaments. So if you lose first round here, you can play another one. You can register in advance for all these tournaments. It's just going to be very convenient for you. So if you ever go to France in the summer, just for a 2 week vacation, you could easily register for maybe 2 or 3 tournaments and get a lot of matches in. And the same apply to juniors. Everybody gets to play. There is a category for everybody. Of course, there is also the women's draw, and there could be also doubles, men's doubles, women's doubles, and then sometimes even mixed doubles. So everything for everybody. So if you happen to go to France for a couple of weeks vacation, you want to transform it into like a tennis vacation, it's very, very possible. But if you go there for longer, let's say you wanted to do training and then tournaments, that also is very, very possible. Just joining a club for like a 1 month membership or something, it's going to be very cheap. And if you wanted to send your kids, right, for training, maybe you want your kids to, play college tennis or something. I've seen in a lot of places clubs that host, foreign kids, and they have, they take them a morning for morning tennis training, and then they serve them meals, and then they drive them around for tournaments, so they can do like a 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks training program. If you want to know about it, comment under the video and I will give you more details about different clubs that can give you like a summer camp basically for your kids. If you are interested in knowing also how the French rating system works, just let me know in the comment section. Those are kind of the reasons why you would consider playing tennis in France. If you go in the summer, if you go in the winter, you will have plenty of tournaments. They are very cheap and you're going to get plenty of matches against people of your level, at a higher level, and even lower levels, and you're going to be able to play on hard courts and clay courts. So that's why I think you should be playing tennis in France. um, I'm going to be playing some tournaments in July in France. And so I will be recording as many matches as possible and kind of show you also around the tournaments, a little bit of scenery, kind of just sharing with you the entire tennis journey and what it's like playing tennis in France. So everything that I say in this video kind of make a little bit of sense to you. But now I'm going to go to the computer and I'm going to actually show you how, as a non-French resident, you can actually register for tennis tournaments. All right, we are now on the computer and I'm going to show you how to register for tennis tournaments in France. So to register for tournaments, if you've never played tennis in France and you don't live in France, it's going to be a 4 steps process. Okay, the first step is going to be to create an account on the 10up website. And this is where everything happens, where you see the tournaments, the clubs, all of your data as a tennis player, and it's just everything related to tennis. The second step is going to be to pay for your annual membership. The third step is going to be requesting a French tennis rating. And then the fourth step is going to be registering for a tennis tournament. So first, you're gonna go on tenup.fft.fr. Tenup is just the name of the website. FFT is basically the French equivalent of the USTA, Fédération Française de Tennis. So this is the homepage, and you're gonna go to connection here. If this is the first time on this site, you're just gonna go ahead and use your email address and then your real names and your dates and everything to create an account. I'm just using a different page here because I already have an account. Log in and you're gonna get to the homepage. So this is my homepage. My name, license number, this is the location, this is my rating. So now that you have an account, the next step is gonna be paying for your membership, your annual membership, like your USTA annual membership, but for France. I actually opened the tabs already just to make it easy. By the way, this is Chrome, Google Chrome. If you click here, it's gonna translate the page automatically. So if you need English, you can just click on that button and it's gonna translate the site. So for non-club members, so you're not a member of a club, you're just traveling from abroad and you just want to play tournaments in France, this is the section that concerns you. You're gonna be paying 49 euros as an adult for your annual membership, or 34 euros for juniors. Now, this membership is not actually valid for 12 months, but it's valid until the end of the current season. So, the season, I believe, starts in September. So if you renew your membership in September, then it's going to be valid until, the end of August of the next year. But if you get this membership, let's say in June, because you're planning to go to France in June for tournaments, then it's only going to be valid for June, July, and August. And then after that, you're going to need to renew it again. But you have to do that if you want to play tournaments. So it's going to be 49 euros for adults, 34 euros for juniors, and then you're just going to follow the process, and you're going to receive your membership within probably like a day or two. So you got an account. Now you paid for your membership. The next step is going to be to request a tennis rating. Okay. And you're going to be clicking on this button here, Demander un reclassement. You click on it. Now you're going to ask for your rating. And there are two options. You either played tennis in France before and you had a rating. And so the French Tennis Federation is going to use that data, or you never played in France and they're going to ask you for evidence of your current rating in your home country. So if you're in the US, what I used is my UTR rating. So you're going to send screenshots of that and then a link of your account. For me, it took only about 2 days, I think, 2 or 3 days for the French Federation to get back to me and then give me a rating. So in the US, I have a UTR rating of 8, and they decided to give me a French rating of 15.2. Now that you're done with that, you can finally register for tournaments. So I'm going back to the homepage. You're going to go to Rechercher here. Actually, let me just translate it, just put it into English. And you're going to do, okay, research, a competition. Okay, click on that. Here, you're just gonna type the city where you're staying. So for me, this is where I am staying. This is the radius, so how far you are willing to travel. Here you pick the dates. This is gonna be, men's singles, women's singles, and all that. Anything that you wanna participate in or that you qualify for. The age, of course, if you're a junior, you're gonna have to select your age group. If you're a senior, 18 and over, you can play only this. If you're 35 and over, you can play both senior and 35. If you're over 40, you can play the senior 35 and 40, and so on and so forth. Usually, if you play in multiple age categories, you're not going to overlap. So you're not going to be usually playing 2 matches a day unless you win a lot of matches. And then eventually it's going to catch up with the other category, with the start of the other age group category. But I'm not 100% sure. I'll be playing tournaments, like I said, in France this July. And so we'll find out. But age group here, you don't really need the other things. You can just type research and oh, actually the thing just translated back to French. Um, and then you can just research, and it's gonna show all the tournaments that are gonna be available in that range. Let's go with this tournament here, Benes Open. Okay, so it's gonna happen from June 24th to July 12th. You can see here that they only offered men's singles and women's singles, and it's about 7 kilometers from the city that you typed. So very close, probably within, less than 10-minute drive. Click on it. And now you're gonna get some information about the tournament. So of course, the address of the tournament, the type of surface. So you have this resin here. It's a hard court that is harder than the courts that we have in the US, and it's also slower. Those courts are very popular in France because they are cheap to maintain and they don't crack. So that's why a lot of clubs will have this surface. And if you go to France and play tournaments, very likely you're going to end up playing on it. There is a little bit of price pool. This is the name of the tournament director. And down below are all the categories. So um, you're going to look for your own category. So let's say, um, you are over 18, a man, you can play this one. So you're going to see usually a plus sign here that that you can click on to register for the tournaments. Now, because this one you can see started in June 24th, and at this time of recording, it's already June 28th, so the registration closed. So I cannot register for that. But if we were on time, there would be a plus sign here. I could click on it and go through the registration process. You can see here for the kids is 19, for the adults is 19. This one is the same price. Usually it's not. These are the ratings that are offered in the tournament. So if you are basically if you're like a beginner, no rating all the way to nationally ranked player, you can actually register for this tournament. And the format is gonna be best of two sets and a full third set. If you play the plus 35 category, it's gonna be a best of two with a super tiebreaker if tied. So you click on that, you register, you pay, and that is it. So this is my home page. The first one is going to be this one. So Ondre Summer Tournament. So you see I registered for both men's singles in the senior category and in the 35 and over, because I'm actually turning 35 this year. This one actually doesn't require you to pay online. So I'm actually paying when I start, and you get a little discount because I registered for two events. But let's say the next tournament that I'm playing, which is going to be about 7 days later, this one I've already paid online, so everything's good. And then you can click on your availability here. When you go through the registration process, they're going to ask you when you are available. And so this is the time that for you to say, okay, I can play on this day from that time to that time. And then the tournament director is gonna try his best to match you against an opponent who is actually available at that time. So for me, I'll be working in the afternoon and early evening, so I won't be able to play then. But I'll be available just about every morning from 8 to noon. So that's what I did. You can either set your availability directly on your profile, so you don't have to do it every single time you register for a tournament, or you can do it per tournament if your availability changes depending on the date. But that's about it, really, as far as registering for tournaments. You can, of course, use this website to do a lot more. You can look for a club here, you can look for a practice partner. Um, if you wanted to join a club, this would be a good way to do that. Especially if you're staying a little bit longer, if you're just looking for, hitting, just having fun, joining a club for in the summer, especially for like a month, would be best. It's not going to be very expensive, depending on the club, of course. And then you get access to all the members of that club. So you can easily get matched with players of the same ability. And yeah, so I'll be playing tournaments, like I said, in July. Next video is going to be those tournaments, probably vlog style, and hopefully I can win some matches so I'll have more videos for you guys. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.